What factors determine child support in Oklahoma? I'm Tulsa Attorney James Worth, and that's the question that we have. It's part of our series that we're doing related to Oklahoma child support and the Oklahoma child support guidelines. And there's basically 10 factors that go in determining the amount of child support that somebody pays in Oklahoma, and I'm going to go over those factors. So number one is going to be number of children. Obviously, if you have more children in the order, that's going to be more money. However, the money paid or contributed to child support for the second child is going to be less than for the first child. Although it doesn't specify a particular amount for each child, you'll just see that each additional child adds on less amount than the first child did. So that's number one, number of kids that you have. Number two is going to be your income, and that's income from all sources. There's great detail in Oklahoma child support guidelines to determine what counts as income and what doesn't, but that is a big factor in determining child support is your income. Then obviously the other factor is going to be, that's number three, it's going to be the other parent's income. That's going to be a huge factor as well from all the sources that are included as part of the Oklahoma Child Support Guidelines. Put that all together. That's opposing party's income. You've got your income. You add them together. That determines the base amount that is split pro rata. But long story short, first factor, number of children. Second factor is going to be your income. Third factor is going to be your the other parent's income. All right. Then we've got some factors that modify the amount of income for determining child support in the guidelines. So you've got your income, but it could be modified for some things before you put it in there. So what are those factors that modify? We get into number four, and that is other children in the home. If you're caring for other children that are biological children, then that is going to be a discount off of the income that you enter into the child support guidelines. So that's factor number four. Also, it applies to the other parent. The other parent is caring for other kids, and that's going to lower the amount of their income for what is included in the Oklahoma Child Support Guidelines. Number five is other child support that you're paying. If you're paying other court-ordered child support and you're actually paying it, then that's going to be a deduction off of your income when you enter your income into the Oklahoma Child Support Guidelines. Another factor that can adjust your income is transportation costs. If the court is ordering you to do certain transportation in order to facilitate visitation, the costs associated with that may under the Oklahoma Child Support Guidelines may be a deduction off of your income and as your income is entered into the Oklahoma Child Support Guidelines. So that's number six, transportation costs. Similar to that, we've got number seven, marital debt. If it's a divorce proceeding and you take on certain marital debt that has certain monthly costs, the Oklahoma Child Support Guideline allows that as a potential discount off of your income before that income is entered into the Oklahoma Child Support Guidelines. The court is not required to do that. You'll notice that that one is actually somewhat rare that you see that adjustment is made, but it is part of the guidelines, so you can make that request. Number seven, marital debt. All right, once you're done with that, you've got the base child support amount. And then we look at an adjustment from there based on parenting time. So if each parent has 100 or more than 120 overnights per year, then that starts to affect it. So the more overnights you have, the less child support that you're going to have until you get to a point of a 50-50. Now, if it's 50-50, that doesn't mean automatically that there's no child support. If one party makes more than the other party, then there could still be a child support order, even if it's a 50-50 schedule. But parenting time, number of overnights you have, that's number eight. It definitely affects child support if both parents have 120 or more overnights. All right, number nine, daycare costs. If there's out-of-pocket expenses for daycare, that's going to be split pro rata based on the party's income. It's going to be in the child support calculation, so that is a factor that determines child support. And last but not least, we've got number 10, and that is health care costs attributable to the kids. So there's a cost associated with getting the kids on the health insurance plan. That's going to be a factor for the child support because that's going to be split pro rata as well. So 10 factors that determine the amount of child support in Oklahoma. If you're going through a child support case or a custody case where child support is going to be determined, you want to look at those factors, make sure you have all the documentation that you need so you can present a case that's favorable to you when determining the amount of child support. To go over those factors more quickly, we've got number one, that's the number of kids. Number two, your income. Number three, the other parent's income. Number four, other children that's in the house that you're caring for that are your biological kids. Number five, other child support that you're paying pursuant to a court order. Number six, transportation costs for facilitating visitation with the child that's at issue in that case. Number seven, marital debt that you're ordered to pay as part of that case. Number eight, custody time. How much overnights does each party have? Number nine, daycare costs. Number 10, health insurance costs. If you've got a question related to Oklahoma child support or legal matter in Oklahoma, you're probably going to want to get legal advice for that. But to get legal advice, you got to talk to an attorney privately and confidentially. To get that scheduled with somebody at my office, you can go online to makelawEasy.com.